Hey guys, Jeremy Majors here, and I want to talk a little bit about the keys to success. So first, establish a new dialogue with the new dog. So that just means take the dog on a few walks first before you introduce that dog to your new pack or a new dog. Establish a dialogue with the dog. So keep your dogs separate from the new dog before you introduce him, so that you guys can get acquainted. The dog may trust you more going into what some dogs perceive as a fearful state, which is around other dogs. So establish a new dialogue with the dog that is being socialized. All dogs should be exercised. When you decide to do socialization, exercise each dog separately. Now this is again a good way to eliminate any potential bad situations, fights, scuffles. So all dogs should be exercised, and you want to do that separate as well. Okay, so the next thing is take your time. There is no rush. Take your time. Do not, if a dog seems like they're still agitated, nervous, or excited, take your time until you get a calm dog. All right, and be present. So even when the first initial introductions are good, you want to be there. You want to be around them so that you can easily advocate for both dogs. And then finally, end when things are calm. Okay, so don't put up, the dogs, or don't end the session until both parties are pretty calm and seem sort of bored with each other. That may take a while, but it's very recommended. Alright, so I'm going to do a voiceover for this video, and this is day one. I am using one of the tools that I suggested, which is the dressage whip. I'm also using a 24-foot leash, or a long leash, and he has the prong collar on. And so my dogs are in the other yard, to the right of where we are, and our goal through this first session is to just allow the dog that we're socializing to see my dogs, not to interact. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I say take your time. A dog that could potentially be nervous and or had bad previous encounters with dogs, they may take more time than others to warm up. So what you want to do is be able to be that dog's guide, but you have to dictate more than they do. So I'm not allowing this dog to go into the other yard. He can if I followed him, he would, but my dogs are in that yard chilling, and you'll see them come out soon, but I'm just sort of standing there. I'm not going to let him go towards my dogs, but I want the dog to know that I can keep you guys separate. All right, and that's what the dressage whip is used for anyway, is to keep dogs separate. We're not using them to hit dogs or anything like that. It's a very good tool to keep dogs separate, so that the guy in question, the aggressive dog, can actually decide when he wants to come up, when he's ready and calm, not coming up because he's nervous and trying to control the situation. So very important to understand the difference there. Yes, dogs are going to want to come up, but let's stop that to let to let everyone know that you are in control, and it also will help the dog become very accepting and or very much more willing to interact in a positive way if that initial interaction is interjected by you. Okay, so you'll see it. I would say 99% of dogs are going to see other dogs and want to come up. But sometimes when you're dealing with a fearful dog, that's exactly what they don't want. They don't want for another dog to come up to them. Despite them moving towards the dog, despite them barking and all that stuff, it could be they're trying to get to the other dog to control that other dog by fighting or mounting or humping. So I take away all of that, again, to let my dogs know that this dog is nothing to worry about, and to let the dog that I'm socializing to know that my dogs are nothing to worry about as well. So you see, he catches on pretty quickly because we've established that dialogue that I talk about. He sort of already trusts me. Therefore, he isn't freaking out like a lot of dogs do. So this is day one. And again, this is probably how close he'll get to them, and that's fine. The next day, we'll go even more, and he'll get calm quicker. All right, so each and every day, the dog will get used to the situation and become more open to it. All right. Okay, day two. So day two, we're using a 24-foot leash. I'm still holding on to the leash, and I decided to abandon the dressage whip because my dogs listen very well when I say back up or go away. That is another very important aspect to successfully socializing the most aggressive dogs or the most fearful dogs. Okay, is having the ability to shoo your own dogs away, because it makes a big impression on a dog who thinks once they see another dog up, they're going to come right up to you. Same thing with dogs and people. Some dogs do not like people because some dogs do not have a choice of interacting or not with people, because we live in a culture where we have to pet, touch, and all that stuff. So, but that's people socialization. All right, so we'll continue with dog socialization. I'm gonna keep them in this yard, and I'm gonna get my dogs to come over to this yard so that you guys can clearly see how he is. See, the tail is up. Watch the body language of the dog too. Your success is also going to be based on how well you read the dog. Look at his body language. It's much easier, much more calm than yesterday. Tail wagging a little bit there. And again, you guys may see that this dog could be okay with going up to my dog, but and that may be true at this time. But again, I'm a big proponent of taking your time. Let's be extra sure. And sometimes 2 days isn't enough. I always tell people this session may not result in dogs playing. It may be the third or fourth or fifth. It depends on the dog, more so than anything, but I take my time. I don't try to rush things. There's no reason for it. And that's why I have successfully socialized the most aggressive dogs to my dogs. And this is the proof is in the pudding. Look at my dogs. My dogs trust me enough to not want to control the situation with the dogs that I bring in. They take my word for it. Why? Because I've advocated for them time and time and time again. They know that me bringing in a new dog has never resulted in them having to defend themselves. So that's why they're so relaxed. Okay. Yeah, just got bit by a spider just then. So again, most of the time it's just about hanging out, letting the dogs go through that whole process of, you know, the dog sees another dog, the anxiety goes up, and let's allow enough time for that anxiety to go back down. Then once the anxiety goes back down or goes down, the playfulness starts to come out. And you'll see this in further videos that Archie will start to really want to engage with my dogs in a very playful manner. Now look at this. A dog has came up. Archie has the ability to go up, but he just chooses not to, right? Look at the tail wag. That's a submissive tail wag. That's sort of a what are we doing sort of body language from him, because he's still a little nervous, you can tell, with my dogs. Again, very important to understand that when a dog initially wants to go up to another dog, it's not because they're totally calm and secure. It's because they could be going up to the other dog to control the situation. Now that we've taken control, look at Archie's. He opts not to go towards my dog because he's insecure. So that's the sort of second step that you'll see, is that he is still a little nervous about going up to my dog. And there I put Mama back in the down because I want Archie to feel comfortable enough to go up to my dog. But that's okay. That's enough for day 3 for now. All right. Excuse me, that was day 2. So this is day 3. So this is day 3. Super important to have calm dogs to socialize with.
Y'all feel it?
Dogs that listen. And they have to take your word for it. That is the only way you can ensure not ending up breaking up a fight. You don't want to do that. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous to break up a fight, especially with stronger, bigger dogs. So they have to take your word for it long enough to see what you want them to see. Alright, so here we are, day 3, different camera angle. The camera angles just get better from here. So again, this is day 3. I'm still holding on to the leash. Okay. The next step would be to drop the leash, but I'm still going to hold on to the leash. I'm a better safe than sorry type of guy. So I just want to make sure that when it's time to take the next step, that it's the right time to take that next step. Now that's playful, see? Now he wants to engage in play. And he's quite comfortable going up to my dogs. But again, keep those interactions brief. When finally the dog does decide to go up to your dogs, keep those interactions brief, okay? Because they're still in their relationship infancy. The goal is to be able to build a good relationship between dogs. Just like how you would between people. The slower you get, the slower you take things, the better the foundation of the relationship will be. Alright, so we're just chilling here, once again. But now you can start to see that playfulness. Now, I'll want to make sure I have him interact with all 3 dogs while I'm holding the leash before I drop the leash as well. Because it's sort of like an introduction to the dogs, and then once they walk away from each other, then I have confidence that they can do so when I decide to drop the leash, and they can do so on their own. But intervene often and early. Okay, that's the other key. You always want to have a tool in your hand that you can quickly break up tension and out of control play. You have to be able to do that. If you see that they're not listening to you, you have to go make them listen to you with your body language, with your voice pressure, with a dressage whip, or with a doggy don't. Those tools can be very effective in breaking up fights or stopping them from happening. So again, intervene often and early. Okay? Those 2 things, if you implement them, can really save you a lot of money in vet bills. Especially if you're a trainer out there, you want to make sure that you are sending the dog home the way the dog came physically. Not mentally, but physically. Mentally, they should be better. And I'm sorry that these aren't the end of every session. These are just as much as I could get on camera. So each clip is about 5 minutes. So we are doing some socialization after this, but I just can't get that much room off of my camera. So we're only doing 5-minute windows each time here. Alright, day 4, and I think this is when I drop the leash. But watch this. Watch as he wants to bolt towards mama. It's probably not in any ill fashion, but a very good tip to sort of implement. when you let dogs in and out of gates, they should be calm going in and out of gates. There's been many fights when I used to work at dog daycares that because of dogs bolting in and out of crates, or excuse me, out of gates, doors, stuff like that. So you want to control that. That's very crucial. Okay, or just get them through the gate one at a time. Don't let them just blast through. And it goes right up to Tobias. Okay, good interaction there. And I think I just dropped the leash. Now I'm just going to kind of shadow him, walk around with him. Okay, who wants to play with Mac there? Oh no, that was Mama. So if he gets into anything or doesn't listen while he decides to play or anything like that, you simply just step on the leash and give him a break. Tell him to sit. Right, and they make him sit for at least 15 seconds. And just stand there. Don't talk to him. Don't good boy him. Just stand there and let him sit. So here we go. He's trying to play with Tobias. I have the doggy don't in my hand. If it gets out of control, I'm just going to press the button just to break him up. Again, keep those first few play interactions brief. Okay, intervene often and early, like I said. Keep those play interactions brief. So I think I wanted to calm him down or give him a break here. And I'm sorry it came out of the camera vision. But we decided to end that there because I just ran out of camera room. But no leash here. And this is day 4. As you can see, Archie is quite comfortable with the situation. Very happy to play, very happy to engage. This is actually after a big pack walk too, so this time Archie may not be as playful because they're a little bit drained from the pack walk that we took. So I think this is just kind of relaxing and enjoying the sun, this clip. But I wanted to show you guys just the progression of it. You know, again, it's super vital that you just take your time. I've socialized hundreds and hundreds of dogs without any fights because of this sort of. All right, guys. So this is kind of my final thoughts on the thing. I again, keys to success is taking your time, um, being in control, and those two things you have to do long enough to get the dog to just relax. Dogs are not innately wanting to hurt dogs. Okay, those dogs are very, very rare, if at all. You're going to start seeing those dogs less and less anyway, but Dogs are not conflictual animals. Don't give them a reason to. Okay? And you should have success. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.